Hello, everybody, and welcome to Offhand Ideas. Here I am, flying through the cosmos in my Marktasticar, flying through the cosmos, seeing all the wondrous sights. But I must know to myself that they are not enough. No matter how beautiful they are, no matter how many stars I shall see, I am headed back to Earth with Mark and my Marktasticar. Through the quantum nebulas of our solar system, through the Milky Way galaxy, through the many strings of black holes and cosmic entities that we have faced throughout our multi-week or day journey. Time is irrelevant, but it must not stop us because we have to go back to Earth. Because we have a Fantastic Four First Steps theory, and it is only weeks until the film releases in theaters, so we must be swift and fast before the film comes out, so our theory will not be dated or proven wrong. We are almost there, Mark. Now, we have entered Earth. Okay, that was my travelogue. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Offhand Ideas. Very, very excited for this episode because today, if that intro was any indication of what we were going to be talking about today, it is a Fantastic Four theory. And I think this one has some meat to it. So, before we get in, please like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. So, my theory about the Fantastic Four First Steps is that I do not think the Fantastic Four are going to win. Yes, that's a very original opinion that you have not heard 50,000 times from people on the internet, but I have justification theories on why it's true and how it's different from every one of those theories. So, my first point of contention, of my 5 points of contention, are the villains. The villains for this movie are going to be Galactus and a few other villains that I'm hoping Doctor Doom is one of them that I haven't mentioned. Why these villains are important is because Galactus is literally the devourer of planets. No duh is this guy a threat, because unlike a lot of villains, they just kill people out of the fun of it, or they just kill people because they have a dramatic, layered backstory on why they want to kill people. Well, Galactus just does it because he's hungry. He'd be like, hey, I'm hungry, can I go eat the nearest planet? And then Silver Surfer goes in and has like, hey guys, my boss is gonna eat you, so, good luck, peace out, y'all. And yeah, he just eats them. He doesn't do it out of pure love. He just is hungry. So, he just eats planets as his meal. So, it's not really an evil situation. He can be evil when he wants to, but for the most part, he's just doing it out of nature. He doesn't know if he wants to or doesn't want to. So, I feel like Galactus is very overpowered because of his sheer scope. And what I mean by that is he can shrink, grow to any size he would like. And he can do some pretty serious damage. Like, we've seen him, like, destroying the Fantastic Four's world in the trailers pretty severely. And that's not something I think, really, the Fantastic Four could stop in one movie, which leads into my theory and my second point of contention of the Fantastic Four, this being a multi-year battle with Galactus. Because my evidence for this is that we see in the newest trailer that Ben Grimm the Thing has a beard made of rocks. I do not think that Ben Grimm could grow a beard within the span of 1 week. That is just not possible for a human or an alien. And another point of how I can support this is that Sue Storm is supposed to be pregnant with Franklin Richard in this film, hence the name First Steps. She has scenes where she looks pregnant, and she just looks slim as me after not eating for 3 days. Like, that cannot be normal, because that's why I'm supporting this is a multi-year or multi-month battle against Galactus, because you can't go from, like, looking as you're pregnant and just having a baby within 2 days and not having, like, any physical or mental damage from that. Like, it takes time to recover from that. And also, growing a beard, you cannot do that in, like, 1 week to, like, 5 days. That takes time. And I feel like this is gonna be a multi-year battle. This is not gonna be like a 2.5 day schmick and then like Galactus is dead and we save the world. No, I don't think this is gonna be like that. I think it's gonna be a very long and complicated process, where it's gonna be like Infinity War, where it had a very long time gap between that and Endgame. And what's gonna happen within that time gap? I don't know. I feel like that I'm now going into my third point of contention, that I feel like Galactus' goal is gonna be Franklin Richards. Because I do not believe for 1 second that Galactus in this movie is going to be like, oh, there's a planet right there, right next to the other one I devoured. Let's go eat that one. I feel like Galactus in this movie has a pretty basis way of, one, eating this planet, and two, getting Franklin Richards. Because if y'all don't read comics like I do, let me catch you up on this. Franklin Richards is literally one of the most OP characters in Marvel history. He can, like, sneeze multiverses on the daily. Like, he is very OP. He can create multiverses. He can span dimensions. Whatever, like, you can think he can do, there's a chance he can do it. And I feel like Galactus would be threatened by this, because Galactus is this almighty powerful being, and really, him just eating planets wouldn't be enough to justify, like, the whole plot of this film. I feel like he would be jealous of Franklin's power and go after him and try to gobble him down before he becomes a strong, powerful, godlike being that could threaten him. And that's why, we see Sue Storm, like, very stressed and very angry and very, like, family throughout the entire trailers. And that's kind of because that I think that Galactus is threatening Sue Storm and Mr. Fantastic, like, hey, I'm gonna eat your child. That chill with you guys? Because I don't want him to be more powerful than me. Because I am a god, y'all. Which I don't think would sit well with Sue Storm or Mr. Fantastic. So I feel like their whole priority throughout these 5 years, backing up my theory, is going to be very hands-on protective of Franklin. And who could blame them? Who could blame them? And my fourth point of contention is, we're going to go backwards a bit. And my fourth point of contention is on why I feel like the Fantastic Four are not going to make it throughout this movie. And it's because the bar that's been set. Because I've heard for a while that this is not going to really explain the Fantastic Four's backstory in that much detail. And there's also been rumors that they're going to fight numerous of their villains within, like, a flashback, like Gigantico and Mole Man and many others that I don't have time to get into now. Which I feel like if you go from fighting Mole Man, Gigantico, a few other C-listers, and then Galactus, I feel like the bar would be set very, very low. Don't get me wrong, Mole Man is quite OP, but I don't think he's on the same level as Galactus. So I feel like at the beginning of the film, I feel like the entire family is going to be very, like, they're going to be very based. Like, what I mean by that is they're going to be, like, thinking Galactus is, like, the same villain of the week that they've been facing for the past 2 years, and he's not. And I feel like Galactus is going to snap them right back to reality and make them think, oh, lordy, this is a threat. He can devour us all. What were we thinking? He's not Mole Man. He's like 50 Mole Men. So I feel like that'd be another good point of contention to lay down, is that the bar has been set so low, and that Galactus is going to be snapping them right back to reality, telling them there is someone who can defeat them, and that they are not all powerful. And I think that'd be a really good way of setting up how big of a threat Galactus is. And my final point of contention is the ending. Because the ending theory I have with this is that throughout all the fighting and tribulation, Galactus is gonna win. He is gonna devour the entire planet, and the Fantastic Four are going to get in their spaceship, jet out of there, and watch their entire planet get devoured by Galactus. And I feel like the reason they're gonna abandon their planet is because they're going to decoy Galactus into thinking Franklin is still there, And as he's like searching for him, they're just gonna go light speed into another universe where Galactus is going to not find Franklin, because the chances of Galactus transporting from universe to universe is very, very slim. So I feel like if they went to another universe, then they wouldn't have a chance of Galactus finding him there. So that is what ties into the Thunderbolts post-credit scene where we see their spaceship coming in here. And I feel like they have the intention of being subtle about it and maybe like landing in a forest where they can like sneak off. But like, it's a spaceship. I don't think it's that subtle. And I feel like that is where Doctor Doom comes in. I don't know how, and I don't know how he can fit into the theory. I just kind of know that he will fit in some way, shape, or form that the movie will explain. So, those are my theories on how I don't think the Fantastic Four are gonna make it through the entirety of the film. And what I mean by that, at the end of the day, is not them themselves, because the cast is confirmed for Doomsday and Secret Wars. I mean the world and their mental slate, and how that's gonna crumble throughout the entirety of the movie as this monthly battle continues. So, I'm excited to see Fantastic Four. Please comment down below what you think this theory is accurate or it's totally not accurate. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And as always, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye!